Good morning, everybody. Paul Herrera, Government Affairs Director. It's my honor to introduce our keynote speaker this morning, Mr. Anthony Kelly, Mayor Pro Tem of the city of Jurupa Valley. As I think everybody here is familiar, Jurupa Valley is the newest city in the state of California. And when it came out of the gate in the midst of the worst economic conditions in the last 60 years, the first thing the state did was not be real friendly to its expected source of funding. But if you know Jurupa Valley, you know the folks who live there, you know that they handle adversity pretty well. And they worked through it, and their leaders worked through it. And they cobbled together budgets, even as the state continued to be obstinate in trying to, in bringing them the funding that they had expected. And they got through it. And finally, with the help of Senator Roth and the help of Assembly Member Sabrina Cervantes and Jose Medina, they were able to finally secure that funding, get themselves on solid footing, and now in a place where they can start to do some exciting things in a good economy and see the promise of the community that they want to build. So we're really excited this morning to have Anthony here to talk about some of that, introduce himself to our members, and answer any questions. So, Anthony, all yours.
All righty. Good morning, everyone. First and foremost, I would like to thank not only Mr. Paul, but Ms. Mercer, and as well as Mr. Morgan for allowing me to come out and speak this morning. T-Gar, I plan on being here more often. This is the first time that a representative of the city of Jurupa Valley has ever been here, and on accountability-wise, I would like to apologize on behalf of my colleagues. First and foremost, my name is Anthony Kelly. I was first elected into office in the year of 2016, age 26. Just one of those where I was in law school and I said, you know what, I want to make a difference right now. You know, born and raised within the Jurupa community before we were ever incorporated. One of my hometowns, the Rubidoux community. Born and raised within the Rubidoux community. Attended University of Tennessee at Martin, majored in psychology, minor criminal justice, played football, you know, the overall ordeal, used what we're good at in order to earn a free education, academia and athletics. So to speed things up, we're in the year of 2016. There was an election that was approaching. I had an epiphany that was bestowed upon me. I wanted to make a difference immediately, so then a voice told me, said, run for something. So we had two elections approaching. It was either running for school district, for the Jurupa Unified School District. I'm a product of that as being a graduate of Rubidoux High School. So I said, you know what, I'm already representing the school district, so I took the other route of running for politics, you know, running for a city council. By the grace of God, I was able to win the election, and when I say it has been a great experience, but most of all, a life-changing experience, the highlights of being a person of service. It doesn't matter whether if you are a constituent, a citizen, we are all public servants because it never takes the title to make a difference. Right now, within the city of Jurupa Valley, as Mr. Herrera stated, we started off in the year 2011, first being incorporated, on a very, very slow end of things. The state actually took away our vehicle license fees in the sense where $6 to $8 million were basically placed on hold as far as our growth. So between the years of 2011 all the way up until 2017, we were on a fixed budget of between, I want to say between $6 to about $12 million a year in a sense. So as soon as we were granted our VLF fees, it brought a new spirit of not just change, but at the same time, more so growth for the city of Jurupa Valley. Currently, right now, we just broke the 106,000 constituent mark, so we are a growing city, 45 square mile radius. So in a sense, we are one of California's bigger cities, but as well as we are the newest city, and let alone we still have a lot of room to grow. Our 8th birthday was this past July 1st of 2019. So what's going on right now? Currently, as some may even understand, one of our biggest hurdles is the current RTRP, the Riverside Transmission Reliability Project. Basically, the proposed project is basically from the city of Riverside and the CPUC along with Edison. They would like to place about 7 miles worth of power towers on our end of the 15 South Freeway. So basically from where Limonite begins all the way going towards where the city of Norco ends, well, begins from our standpoint. And basically ever since this proposal was brought up, it's basically put I want to say about $2 to $4 million of future commercial tax revenue that our city would be able to receive on hold. And up until the year of 2020, early 2020, we won't hear anything up until that decision is basically reprimanded. So outside of that battle, within the city itself, we are still considered a rural area. We have a lot of projects that are currently underway, such as the Cielo Vista housing project, which is located within Indian Hills, and along with our Rio Vista projects, condos, and as well as our Highland Park 1 and 2 projects, which are proposed 400 single-family homes right off of Mission Boulevard and Opal, close to our 60 freeway. When it comes to rehabilitation of the city, transportation, as we know, traffic, it increases every single day all throughout the region. Right now, Caltrans has passed the 60 Swarm project, which from the 60 west and east going towards the 15 north and south from Ontario to the city of Riverside, we are literally rehabilitating, repaving, but most of all reconstructing the 60 freeway. And as we all know, a lot of damages are occurring throughout the whole region from a transportation standpoint. So not only will the 60 freeway within our city is being reconstructed, but along with our main thoroughfares such as Limonite Avenue, Rubidoux Boulevard, the Market Street Bridge, which has never been touched since the early 60s before some of us were even thought of, in a sense. So right now, my experience being a public servant, my overall goal has been to bring back the understanding that we work for the individuals, we work for the people. I never put my name on a ballot for any kind of attention other than the overall longful, so forgotten attention that my city and my community has always been missed out on. You know, when we were just an unincorporated area through Riverside County, we may have received a few landscaping projects here and there. We may have received a few median upgrades, but overall, our voices were never heard within the community. And right now, there are a lot of space and a lot of land for growth within our cities. And the last thing that we want anyone, not just within the region, not just within Southern California or California, to have this overall understanding of is that we are a developing city and we are not against development. It's just the fact that there's a difference between good development and bad development. The last thing that we ever want to do is to bring in or propose a project that is going to be disheartening for the future of our city, let alone the overall sustainability. Now, currently, when it comes to our law enforcement, as spoken about earlier, we are still on a fixed budget. 75% of our current budget goes towards our actual law enforcement. So that's about $22 million of our $45 million that is within our annual general fund that's going towards our police force. Now, I'm not sure if a lot of individuals know about this, but currently within Riverside County, we are understaffed when it comes to our peace officers. We are, it was explained to me, close to about 1,100 deputies short of individuals to protect and serve within our communities. So what's occurring right now throughout not just the city of Jurupa Valley, but as well as throughout Riverside County, the more discrepancies of crime that occur, there are longer waiting times, you know, because we're understaffed. There are longer response times just due to the fact of lack of help. in a sense. And that's just the overall understanding that there aren't too many individuals willing to be everyday heroes. And so what's going on right now, in order for us to move forward, not just as a city, but as a county, the power lies amongst the communities. So the overall understanding, peace officers protect and serve, but their main points of conversation, their main points of communication lies amongst the community. So right now we are building and growing all of our community watch services throughout our city, from the Rubidoux District, Sky Country, Jurupa Hills, Mariloma, and Glen Avon. We are a growing city, and right now we are highlighting some of our bigger pieces of landscaping throughout our region, well, not just our region, but our city as well. Every year we have the opportunity to attend the ICSC conference, the International Conference of Shopping Centers. My first time ever attending, it was mind-blowing. Being a regular constituent, regular citizen, understanding, walking through the mall, oh wow, all these stores are here. You have the opportunity to shop, but attending this conference, oh wow, you have the opportunity to shop and bring these actual stores, realtors, and actual opportunities to the city. It's mind-blowing. But that understanding of us being a non-developmental city, it has spread all across the region, and we are doing our best to eliminate that, because in order for us to be stable, in order for us to succeed when it comes to sustainability, we have to develop. But it all boils down to good projects, and at the same time, things and abilities that are going to solidify our presence within Riverside County. Because the last thing that any municipality ever wants to experience is that overall journey of almost being disincorporated, and we were almost there. So with us as a city, we have a lot of opportunities for growing. We have a lot of opportunities for not just real estate, but commercial properties as well. Anything that you've heard of the city of Jurupa Valley being a non-developmental city, eliminate that. We are here to work with developers, but at the same time, we are here to serve our community and our constituents within the city of Jurupa Valley. And I would like to open it up for any questions. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Good morning. My question is this: affordable housing. How is our city looking at doing our part, as the governor his mandate is stating, affordable housing?
Yes. Well, currently, this past March, we succeeded in completing our housing element as far as meeting our numbers. So currently, right now, we have a few projects that are actually approaching when it comes to affordable housing. Just last year, the state was able to grant what is known as the CDBG fund, which is a community development block grant, where for us as a city, it actually proposed and brought about close to about $2 million for us to put forward towards affordable housing. So we have about close to 300 to 400 affordable housing units that will be approaching and groundbreaking over the next year and a half, particularly towards the downtown Rubidoux area, within the Glen Avon areas as well. We're still working. We're still working as far as finding those developers, but as far as that housing development, we actually have a open house workshop for our housing development next month at City Hall, 8930 Limonite Avenue at 3 p.m. On September the 10th. So we are working towards creating a better, strong sense of affordable housing, but at the same time, upgrading the fruition of our community as well.
What do we define as affordable? What is that price tag that we define?
Diane, we can't hear you on Facebook Live. That's why we got this lovely contraption. It's not just here for show.
Okay. What does our city define affordable housing? Because, houses that are 6-bedroom and 5-bed, that is not affordable housing. So how does our city define affordable housing? What is that? Square footage, price range, whatever?
Okay, so the term affordable housing, being that we are a very dynamic city in the sense we are very diverse, from not just our elders within the community, but we have a lot of transients when it comes to students actually every single day traveling from college to university. So my definition of affordable housing price range on behalf of the city, we're looking at between the low 300,000s all the way up to the high 400,000s. That's the overall pricing range from our main projects that are up right now and built as far as groundbreaking. But when it comes to affordable housing for our local students, the individuals that actually travel to the UC Riversides, the University of La Sierras, we have a few housing projects. Well, we have a few student housing affordable housing projects that are coming about. Average rent, we're looking at about $1,200 to about $1,500 a month in a sense. So, yes, ma'am. Yes.
Bunker and Dottie, so we're concerned.
Yes.
Okay. Emerald Meadows, what is going to happen with that big piece of dirt?
Yes. Emerald Meadows. So, a quick backstory regarding Emerald Meadows. My family, we actually used to own Emerald Meadows in a sense. And this was back in this is the late 1990s. Make a long story short, as family members pass, we know and understand how things occur when it comes to land, so on and so forth. What is occurring right now, the old owners of Emerald Meadows and the current owners of Emerald Meadows, they're in conversations, they're in litigation right now as far as what's supposed to be proposed.
That's a nicer way to put it, though. I like that.
Yes.
Conversation.
Yes, they are communicating amongst one another, conversing, trying to figure it out, dispute behind closed doors what's going to occur. But before we were ever incorporated, there was a proposed, I think it was about 3,000 homes that was proposed to the county, along with a middle school and as well as a Home Depot that was never brought about right before the market had crashed. So currently right now, we as the city, we are still waiting to hear from the developers, not just a project that is going to bring a betterment, let alone a longful and fruitful, sustainable future for the city, but we're still waiting for them to actually eliminate, but most of all, come to a meeting of the minds with one another.
My question is really brief.
Yes.
What's the boundary for, it would be the northwest along the 15 freeway between you and Eastville? What's the boundary?
Between us and Eastville, it would be the entrance towards the 15 north and south. So as soon as you cross the new Limonite Bridge, you are entering into the jurisdiction of Eastville.
I see.
Yes.
Okay. Excellent. Also, too, a few years ago, they had a master plan when you first got going with the revenue again growing, and your city has a master plan for your total growth prospects?
Yes. Yes. As far as our general plan, we just adopted our general plan element. This was early 2018, solidifying zonages, areas for not just reconstruction but development as well, pertaining to our Emerald Meadows projects, pertaining to the current land that is within the Vernola Parkway, close to our Limonite 15 north and south interstate, where the RTRP is still holding up, our projects that have been proposed, as well as within the master plan is to reconstruct and rehabilitate our current businesses and our current neighborhoods in order for us to attract newer businesses and newer real estate projects as well.
Two questions.
Yes.
You guys have any workforce housing projects that you're considering that's on the books?
We are currently, as of right now, we are working with other than Riverside Housing Authority, as of right now, we don't have a specific workforce yet that's came to the table and said, you know what, we would like to work hand in hand with the city.
Okay, and
Yes.
second question is, a lot of cities now are looking to bring projects online that makes them a destination city versus a pass-through city. You got any project you're looking to make Jurupa Valley a destination city that people would come to for events and whatnot?
Yes. Our main thoroughfares, such as the 60 East and 60 West, we have a lot of land that is available currently on Pedley, which we are looking towards not just bringing into fruition, but highlighting it towards developers to want to come and build within our cities. The main problem is the fact that over the past, ever since incorporation, there has been this misconstrued understanding that we are a non-developmental city. So little by little, we're using the hammer and chisel to knock away that negative connotation, because it's basically backfiring on us. To say that we are a rural city, we're close to about 45 square mile radius. We can build and still keep our rural essence, but at the same time, rehabilitate and reconstruct our overall city as well. Our 15 freeway, that's still on hold because of the RTRP and the future proposed power lines as well. So as of right now, we're working towards highlighting our inner city, our inner areas from Limonite to Pedley, from Rubidoux Boulevard, Mission Boulevard, close to Conti Galliano's, the winery as well. So little by little, my overall goal is to highlight our inner areas, because so many of our available landscaping towards our main thoroughfares and our close to the 15 and the 60 freeways, they're on hold right now.
I have one last question.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm of the school, affordable housing at 300, 400,000 is not affordable. And I've been a realtor for 33 and a half years. Affordable is our first-time home buyers that could, when I got in the business, we were selling homes in Rubidoux, 80, 85, 90, and we'll never see that again.
Yes.
But is the city open to a developer coming in and saying, look, I want to do little 1,100 square foot, are they open to that?
Yes.
They are?
Yes,
okay.
we are. Yes.
Okay, good answer. Ben.
Yes, we are. We are open. We are open to not just development, but at the same time, good development, diverse development. And I know 300,000, bird's eye view, it's not considered affordable. But at the same time, we are proposed and we are for the development of 1,100 square footage single family homes as well. And we have projects that are being brought about in fruition over the next year or so. Yes, Paul.
Quick question. How's the relationship with the county sheriff's department? I know the costs have been rising quite a bit.
Yes.
It's a pressure on a number of cities, and obviously a huge part of your budget.
Yes.
How's it with the new sheriff?
Well, our new sheriff, Sheriff Bianco, he's a great public servant. Our relationship is great. When it comes to the city standpoint, it's just the fact that not just from a city standpoint are we understaffed, but regionally we are understaffed. We as a city of Jurupa Valley, we do not yet have our own police station, so we are in a contract with the Riverside County Police Station, Sheriff Station. So when it comes to response times, when it comes to just the overall understanding that priority, a noise complaint versus an individual who is without shelter is basically loitering amongst the community. We have problems right now with being understaffed, in a sense, and especially in the growing rate of homelessness. It is a regional epidemic. What's occurred over this past January, state legislation basically passed a ruling stating that any individuals who are without homes and who basically live within their vehicles on the public right-of-way, we as municipalities, public servants, sheriffs, deputies, they will not be able to remove them, because anything that's considered public right-of-way is basically considered a place for living, and us removing these individuals will go against their human rights. And that's, from my point of view, that is degressive in a sense, versus removing the individuals. We have to show them that there are other routes and other ways to be able to receive housing. But we don't have too many housing shelters, you know, because a lot of them have a certain dates and certain times per capita, per individual, per night, where families are able to stay there. So from my point of view, if we have so many animal shelters, we need just as many, let alone 5 times the amount of human hubs, human shelters, you know, because let's face it, the more humans that we save, the more animals we can help at the same time. But as of right now, our relationship with our sheriff station is great. It's just the fact that we are just understaffed regionally. Any questions? Any questions? Yes, sir.
So you were talking about looking for projects and you measure it based on sustainability. My question to you is,
Yes.
how do you measure sustainability, and what would be the top 3 projects that you would like to see developed in Jurupa Valley?
Okay. My definition of sustainability, just overall from a constituent city standpoint, job availability, safety, but at the same time, we want to attract outside individuals to come and check our city out. You know, in a sense, the last thing that we want is for constituents to say, you know what, we don't want to live here anymore. That's not sustainable. That is literally going to create a sense of chaos, because the more individuals that are leaving, and then next thing you know, we have another stigma on our hands. Well, the city of Jurupa Valley is an unlivable community. So, and when it comes to the 3 projects that I would love to see, and just overall, not just for sustainability, you know, as far as us being able to provide affordable housing, but as well as creating a stronger sense of after-school programs, of not just applying ourselves to have a satellite campus for a future university, UC Riverside, Cal Baptist University, so we can literally create, and I guess you could say reconstruct the term affordability. Affordability can go towards individuals who are occupants within senior citizens, convalescent homes, affordable housing towards students in a sense, but as well as us upgrading our sense of entertainment, you know, being able to hopefully one day bring that the East Coast mantras, or the East Coast understanding of mini malls, you know, bringing that towards our city of Jurupa Valley, because we have pretty big monstrosities of buildings that are basically still being paid for, such as the Albertsons building, but we don't have the Albertsons there. So entertainment, but most of all, education. Education is important, you know, for us to have a satellite campus, but as well as around that satellite campus, more affordable housing. Yes, ma'am.
And I know you're going to tell me, just come to the meetings, and I promise I'll support you, Mayor Pro Tem, I promise.
Yes, ma'am.
The last meeting I was at, it was packed about are we dead with the bus? Because somebody asked me about that the other day, Greyhound coming in. They had that big fight about keeping them out. Are they gone for good?
Yes, the Greyhound bus station, they had a proposed project within the De Anza shopping center. Is dead. It was not approved because the overall project itself, they were basically going to transfer inmates from prison to prison, and they would basically stay at the station close, and the station would have been located hypothetically right within the school districts, right above housing projects, but right in the middle of one of our biggest shopping centers as well. So we had to, I mean, it wasn't safe. It wasn't sustainable. You know, it wouldn't have brought a prosperous spirit, let alone a good sense of trust from our community if we were to have even approved it. So it was a no-brainer for that one. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Any alrighty. Well, I would like to thank everyone for allowing me to come and speak and to introduce the city of Jurupa Valley. I appreciate your service. As realtors, you are public servants because you provide homes. You know, let's eliminate from individuals that want to say, oh, it's all about commission. Well, you all have to make a living as well. but the overall understanding is for you to provide housing and to overall create a sense of occupancy for all your projects. So I would like to say thank you, and do not be afraid of the city of Jurupa Valley. We are open to develop, but at the same time, we are open to build those partnerships and relationships. And I would like to say thank you to TGAR for allowing me to speak and represent the city of Jurupa Valley. Thank you.